Good day, brothers and sisters, children of the light, children of the day, as Apostle Paul calls us in 1 Thessalonians 4:5, 1 Peter 5. I want to have a quick chat with you today regarding feeding our spiritual being, our spiritual man or woman, and not neglecting the spiritual side of who you are if you are a devout Christian. And I want to use the example of and I think most of you know this, psychiatric condition of anorexia nervosa, which, and I'm going to put it very, very basically and very simplistically, is where people have an absolute obsession with their weight and refuse to eat and obviously most of the time drop under ideal weight or even far under ideal or a healthy weight, and just have this obsession with becoming thinner and thinner and thinner and eating less and less. Now, medically speaking, a person with anorexia nervosa can do quite serious physical or damage to their physical body. If this happened before puberty, it can cause growth retardation or the skeletal system never reaching peak skeletal mass and calcification. It can retard adolescence, and if this happens to an adult suffering from anorexia, it can cause serious problems over and above just losing a lot of weight and your muscular system becoming atrophic and losing and your skeletal system becoming osteopenic or or you start suffering from osteoporosis because of lack of proper nutrition and decalcification of your bones. But even more so, severe anorexia nervosa for a very long time can cause serious cardiac and neurological damage to a person. And also a problem people suffering from that condition have is that they're very susceptible to infections because a healthy immune system depends on proper nutrition, and especially with proper protein nutrition, and they're very susceptible to infections. Now, why am I using this example is I often look at people that are Christians that put no effort into feeding their spiritual man or their spiritual woman, and they might be physically robust and healthy or a bit too robust, but spiritually they are completely anorexic. They never feed their spiritual man or woman. They never study God's word. That's one of the crucial ways of feeding your spiritual being, with word knowledge and God's word, because it is supernatural. I believe God's word is supernatural and has supernatural effect on your spiritual being. They never worship. There's an incredible, edifying, spiritually protective quality about worshiping God, over and above the fact that we must worship him because he deserves it and he's holy and glorious, and we owe it to him to worship him for all he's done for us. And people that never join with other Christians in a group where they can mutually edify, strengthen, and teach each other, i.e. church or Bible study or something like that. And people who will spend hours and hours with hobbies or days on social media or with movies or with watching series, but never feed the spiritual man or woman inside. And I often, when I experience someone like that or deal with someone like that, I have this image in my brain. I always say I think in pictures of this spiritual person inside of them, very thin and scrawny and sick and not healthy. Spiritual anorexia, if I can use that expression. And you know what happens when you have spiritual anorexia? You become susceptible to any form of spiritual infection that crosses your path. What do I mean by spiritual infection? Statements and teachings about God and the Bible that's not true, or the truth that's twisted, or the truth that's combined with other forms of philosophy, of other forms of religion, or biblical truths that's been combined or twisted with occultic or new age ideas. And most Christians have no defense against it. Nothing. They have no defense against it. It literally spiritually infects them. And even breaks down or degrade what is left of their spirituality, because they have no proper spiritual immune system, because they're properly fed with God's words. They stand strong in their faith because they worship and they have Christian friends and a Christian community around them. They're completely susceptible and exposed to any form of spiritual degradation that comes their path. And the problem is that, going back to the psychiatric condition, anorexia nervosa, if it is long enough and severe enough, there's almost, you reach a point where there's no turning back, where the damage to your physical body is so intense that the prognosis is almost zero. And the same for your spiritual man. You can get to a point in your spirituality where your spiritual being has been broken down so severely and so infected with wrong and twisted teachings that people lose their faith and spiritually die. Because without faith and relationship with Jesus, it's only eternal damnation that waits. My brothers and sisters, make an effort of feeding your spiritual man. You can only do it with God's word, worship, and spending time with other Christians, talking, discussing, and interacting with spiritually edifying people that help you build your faith and your focus on Christ before it's too late. Please go to my website, glitterforchrist.co.za, or just type in my name, Heinrich Lottring. On YouTube, many other videos to watch, and it's my true benediction that the one true living God, the Holy Trinity, will richly bless you.